Hey there, YouTubers. It's FoodieTea here again, and I have a wonderful new recipe I'd love to share with you. It's one I made up. It's basically a steam bun. As you can see, it's got sort of lettuce in it, and it's got some fresh. It's got some fresh lettuce. It's got some pork, which I'll show you how to stew up. You roll it up in the steam bun, which I've got a recipe for, and it looks great on the platter, great at parties. And here's roughly how you make it. So to start with, you want to get the dough going. Now I'll talk you through this bit. To start with, you're going to need 600 grams of pork belly, which you can get at any old butcher shop. And you're going to marinate that really quickly with a teaspoon of salt, some sesame oil, some Japanese soy sauce, and this stuff here is a Korean sweet honey substitute thing. You just go to the Korean shop and you should find some. Chop up some garlic as finely as you can, and then this is me sort of fumbling around with some ginger. I was gonna grate it, so because I'm a bit lazy, I just decided to grate it. And then you want to chop up some spring onion, and you only want really the stalk of it. The long bit you want to sort of long leafy green bit you want to leave. And then basically you're going to mix up the ginger and the garlic into the pork. And then you start heating up a pan. And here I've got two whole cloves of star anise onto the saucepan. And when that's sort of heated up, I chuck in the 4 pieces of pork. And this is obviously sped up, so it cooks pretty quickly when it's nice and hot. You want it a little bit burnt, so you get it a little bit dark. So browned, if you will. I think that's a technical term. And then here I chuck in a bit of soy sauce and just a little bit of water so I can steam it. And essentially I turn the heat down on low because it's really hot right here. So just letting the steam do its thing. And then 15 or 20 minutes later, it's more or less ready. So give it 20 minutes. You can't really overcook it. And then the next bit here, I'm prepping up some paper. So cut up some baking paper. And that's loosely sort of how I measured it up. You're going to need a stack of that. And this is about an hour later. The dough's obviously risen up. So what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing up the dough and sort of giving it a quick knead really, and you can see it's quite sticky all over my fingers, and I'm not really good with dough, so this is me messing around. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it into, I don't know, a long rolled out bit. Then cut yourself off a little piece. And you want to sort of roll one of it out till it's flat, roughly the size of your palm, a bit bigger than your hand if you will. Little saucer sized. And then you chuck it on top of the white paper, as you can see, or the baking paper, and put it inside a steamer. You can see I'm using a bamboo steamer there. Then after a while you want to leave it sitting inside the steamer to rise for maybe 15-20 minutes or so. So just give it a chance to rise up inside that steamer.
Alright, I just got back from the park. We went for a walk. I just thought I'd leave it to sit for a while to rise inside. So yeah, now that I've let it sit around a little bit more than the room temperature, because it's quite warm right now, you can see that it's all sort of risen a bit. This one's sort of overlapping a little bit. I'm not going to care way too much. Just going to make sure there's enough room for it to steam up. And I'm pretty much ready to chuck this in the steamer. So I'm going to get it done now.
So here's me chucking on the steamer. And I've got a pan that's sort of boiling underneath. And then I'm for the next bit, I'm sort of preparing up the sushi. The seaweed wrappers. So I'm sort of slicing some up. You grab your pork out and give it a bit of a slice.
Now it didn't take very long. It was only been sort of 15, 16 minutes ish, and already it's ready, because the dough wasn't really high in the first place, so it doesn't take that long to steam right through, and you can see you get quite a bit more height in it. So that's ready. I'm just gonna pull that one out to show you. So I'll see you back over there.
And now the final bit's pretty straightforward. What you want to do is grab a few chunks of the pork that you've sliced up into, and then of course the gravy which you've got. So don't pour away the gravy. Forgot to tell you, don't pour the gravy away. You want to keep the gravy. And then you put a bit of lettuce in, roll it up, and then you're using the seaweed to bind it, kind of like a sushi roll. And then you can see I've used I reached for a bit of the gravy, and that sort of pretty much binds it and holds it in place.
So there we are. I made a batch here. I've got some pork left still some gravy. Obviously you've got a bit of lettuce, and I'm steaming up some more of these these little sort of dough based thingies. I'm going to do the taste test now. There should be enough in the recipe to make about 18 or so of these, 16 to 18 of these. So yeah, I'm gonna just give this one here a crack. You probably don't want to look at the food itself, but okay, I had to stop for a second. That's really good. I'm gonna go off and eat this now. But you guys have to give this recipe a try. Post in the comments if you like it. Post if you did something different and made it a little bit more awesome. The only thing I wish I did here is I put a bit more of that sauce in. I'm almost gonna cheat and grab a bit of the sauce and dip it in as well. If you guys love it as much as I do, please hit subscribe, give me a few comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.